All right, guys, what's up? I had a question about a tapering jig that I was using. I'm using the Match Fit, the Micro Jig Match Fit dovetail clamps. This is not a Micro Jig video, but somebody had asked me about the post that I put on Instagram about these and my tapering jig and said, "Are those F-style clamps?" No, they're not F-style clamps. They are dovetail clamps. So just kind of give you a little rundown of what they're for. This is a scrap piece of wood, and I just routed some dovetail. And when I say dovetail, they are dovetail shape slots in this piece of wood all the way down. So I just have them in random places. And so these dovetail clamps slide into those slots because these are dovetail slots. This is a dovetail clamp. And so that's why it's called Match Fit. So anyway, you would get your taper that you want. So if that's the taper, if this is the taper that you want, see how this is tapered from there all the way down. If that's what you wanted, well then you would just slide those clamps in, tighten it down, and there you go. So now you can run that jig through the table saw and cut that wedge off to end up with a tapered piece of wood. And so I've got a little piece of wood on the end here to help me push. You can also grab onto these clamps because they're nice and tight and push it through. So this piece would ride up against the fence. This piece would ride up against the blade. And you could even put a miter bar down here on the bottom to fit basically a runner to fit into that miter slot of your table saw. But also I've got this piece on here because I store it down here on the bottom shelf of my table. And so that way I can just kind of grab it and pull it out. There are some fancier tapering jigs to where they have T-tracks and star knobs and you can move things and twist and all this other stuff. This is really, really simple. So you just measure here, measure where you want the taper to stop, clamp it down, cut it. That's it. The only thing is you don't want to run into an issue to where you run this clamp all the way out like that, because this piece is riding on the blade, and so you don't want that sticking out. If you have to have the clamp right on the edge, my suggestion would be to cut part of that off, just modify it and cut part of that off to where you can actually do that, because you don't want that hitting the blade for sure. But anyway, that is a really simple tapering jig. I've got a different tapering jig plan on my website. It's a free download, but I haven't taken it down after I started using this one because so many people download that other plan. I don't have a plan for this one because it's just a scrap piece of wood with some dovetail slots in it. But the other one, there's been several people download that one. That's probably my most downloaded plan, is that free tapering jig. So if you want to check that out, check it out. The clamps, like I said, this is not a micro jig video, but I do have a link for those on my website under the tools section if you're interested. So yeah, I just want to touch on that, answer a question about those. Anytime I'm doing these videos, if like you see something in the background, like, oh, what is that? Ask me in the comments. If it's something I can talk about and answer questions about, I'll definitely show you and talk about it and, tell you what I can about it. But real quick before I let you go, I want to talk to you, or I want to ask you to do me a favor. Not really a favor. I just want you to look at my Instagram account, my page. If you like it, you can follow me. That's not what this is about, though. I'm trying something new. So everybody's got a bio section in their Instagram. And so I was listening to Made for Profit. Brad Rodriguez and John Malecki do an awesome job over there at Made for Profit. If you guys are remotely interested in upping your game in Instagram and just content creation, that kind of thing, go check out their podcast on iTunes. Great stuff. So anyway, I'm just trying to, follow their instruction and, do a little better because I feel like I've neglected the bio section of my Instagram account. But this is what I've come up with, and I've been in some conversation with some people about, this could be good, it could not be good. So that's why I'm asking you here. So in the bio, there's a link, and in that link, you can link to anything. And that's the only link you get with Instagram. So if you do a post about, say, this tapering jig, and say, I did a video on this tapering jig, go check it out on YouTube, links in the bio. So you'd go to that link, click it, and it'd take you to the YouTube video or to your website, wherever you choose to link to. And that's a good thing. Now, there are a lot of people who find other Instagrammers, and just by chance, or they click on hashtags and they find other people and follow them and that kind of thing. And so for discovery purposes, I was thinking, what if I use this new, it's called Linktree. And so with Linktree, you can have, after you click the link in the bio, it takes you to like a little mini menu. And so I thought, well, for discovery purposes, if people who find me want to know more about me, I can put my website in the description, but you can't click it. And so they have to type it in unless I've got my one link just to my website, which is not a bad idea. But with Linktree, I can put a link to my website, I can put a link to my blog, I can put a link to my YouTube, I can put a link to my newsletter in this little mini menu. And so I thought that was kind of cool. But if it's an extra step that would prevent you guys from clicking through to, whatever I'm posting about, that's where the problem would come in. And so I want your feedback, and let me know, if you will, is that something that's going to keep you from clicking over to the article or clicking over to the newsletter or whatever? Is that extra step? Is that extra step a hindrance? For me, it takes out a step because I don't have to keep changing the link in my bio section. So go to my, I'll leave a link down in the description to my Instagram, and just look at my bio, click the link, and see the little mini menu, and tell me what you think. So I'm curious, is that like, I'm not going to click here and then click there and then look at this. Now, if you would just click the link and would rather go straight to whatever it was talking about, if that's your preference, let me know. That's what I'm asking. So yeah, I would appreciate your help. I love talking on this channel and just showing you things and asking questions and getting feedback from you guys, because it's just a lot of value. I can improve the experience for you by changing the way I do things here on this side. So that's why I value you guys so much. I can ask you anything and you always come through. So check that out for me if you don't mind. And that's all I got for today. So we'll see you tomorrow. Later.